Well, like you said, very similar to the design you made in wood. So these pieces are functionally identical or machined to the same extent, with the exception that they have some clearance on these side links for rotation. So I've been able to machine a half round into these, which that's just simple, rougher end mill, a little touch up on a grinder here with a belt sander to give a little more clearance to the weld. But functionally, these links here, and then the other links, which are the verticals, right here, they're machined the same, just with a little more material removed from the bottom for clearance purposes. But there is a 3/4 inch hot roll bar turned down with a shoulder, and that 3/4 hot roll is just 3/4 inch bar in the center right here. I haven't decided if I'm going to make these greasable or not, but if I do, I'll put these in the collet and drill them out halfway with a through hole, small through hole, 1/8 inch or smaller, 332, and thread these out for a zerk, so that if I want to make a greasable pin, these are constructed similar to industrial roller chain. So these rollers here are just have a clearance fit, about 2 thou clearance fit to the pin diameter. Pin goes through. It's capped with a snap ring. I don't know what the durability on the snap ring is going to be like, but allegedly these snap rings have a 4,000 pound axial load, so I'm hoping that that'll last. These are partially completed tracks. I don't have grousers on them, but the final product, I'm going to take these apart. This is mainly for testing purposes, but I just put some straight bar on the bottom and sticked it on. So this is kind of what I'm thinking is I'm going to end up using. The alternative, I haven't decided yet, but taking the straight bar here and making these directional grousers to where I'm going to put like a 15-degree kink, basically make them into chevrons. I haven't decided on that yet. I'm kind of wishy-washy on that. But yeah, that's pretty much how it goes. Stack up is as follows. You may have some benefit from this. I did make a fixture for putting these grouser pads together. So all I did was take a piece of flat plate, butt weld it, or excuse me, lap weld it to another piece of plate with this bar here, piece of leftover screw around sample to hold them all together, clamp down to the tabletop. So what I do is I take one of my flat plates, which is 8-inch hot roll, cut into a 4-inch strip. Slap it in here with the crown down. Give her a couple taps to seat her against the stops. Take my machine bars, drop them into my fixture here, right? Cross pin. Once I line them up correctly, these are just marking the top, because I did machine these so they have more wear on the top here for when they're interacting with the center bottom rollers on the track sections. So they've got a little more wear surface here before they're not viable anymore. So once I line this up, pin goes in. Hard to do this one-handed. Pin goes in. This pin's got a slight taper on it, but pin lines up. I take another pin I have to hold these in alignment. Drop this through. And then I take this piece here, which was a miscut. Drop it on top here. I C-clamp this assembly to the table to keep these link sections in compression against the plate as they're welding. As I'm welding, then I take some 7018 332, run a bead here, run a bead on the opposite side, remove the C-clamp, remove the pin here once these two are stuck on either side, run another 332 bead here, 332 bead on this side here, and then I remove the whole thing from the fixture as it's welded, and I weld the remainder. That's my initial section there, and then I weld the remainder after it's down on the table here and clamped flat again to try to minimize the distortion. Same thing on the inside here. I haven't cleaned this one up yet. I'm still gonna knock all the BBs off and whatnot. That flapper disc does pretty good for these. Then once I've got them to this state, flip her over. I made up a jig for this actually last night. If I can find it in my mess, wherever the hell I put it. I have a lot of mess here. Looking. Ah, here it is. So I take my jig here, which I just made out of some 1-inch plate remnants that I had, and I put steps in it so that this end lines up against the outside of the grouser pad, and then this piece here locates the 3/8 flat bar I'm using as a grouser, and this clamps on top here. Now it extends this way so I can butt the flat bar up against something to locate it in axially. Okay, so I just pop this on here on one grouser pad, or one grouser bar, run a couple stitches here. This will be clamped down to the table in compression to hold everything in place, because there's a it's not a clearance fit. This is like 370 on a 375 bar, so it'll actually clamp it in place when it's on got a C-clamp on it, so that way I can make them all identical. I haven't decided if I'm going to do a full weld on these or if I'm just going to go with these skip welds. You know, I haven't gotten that far ahead, because like I said, I just made this one up last night. But so far as I've got three generations of grouser pads here in the garage. One, the track section here, this is generation 2 with the rollers, and then generation 1 lacked the rollers, but they will get it, and then they'll all eventually get the grousers welded onto them like this here. So, but that's the track link section that I'm going to end up using on my mini dozer. I wanted the grousers here both to add a little more rigidity here to the leaf extension. If you cove a rock or something like that, I can see this A36 taking a hit, because this is 1/4 inch flat. If I was going to make it heavier duty again, I probably would go with 3/8. I don't think 1/2 inch is gonna be too heavy for what you're doing. That's pretty much what the real full-size stuff does, but maybe 3/8 if you're looking for something that's a little more rigid. And then I have all this 3/8 round bar, or square bar here, but kind of wondering if I should have gone with 1/2 inch to get a little more depth, a little more bite here on the bottom of the track. So, but that's where I'm sitting on my track pads. And like I said, stack up is take a link. If these will go, some of these I haven't sized yet. This might be oversized too. But anyways, stack up goes like this through here. One of the rollers will go in here to have another bin on the other side of the garage, and then another link on this side capped off with that snap ring. So I don't know how durable the snap ring is going to be again, but we'll see. I kind of half and half on that one. But there you go.